Welcome to day number 7 of Ancient Inheritance. I'm sorry this video is up so late. I was at the in-laws who have basically dial-up internet, and there was no way I was getting this video up this morning. Had to wait till I got home to the land of 21st century internet. So we've defeated the warden on the left-hand side of floor number 3. That's both wardens down, and that allows the teleporters to be used, and I can use these teleporters to access the northern island. Now, even though the fog of war has been lifted a little bit, sometimes it's still a little difficult to tell which teleport is the one to use. So I recommend you tag the teleports. That way you can tell everybody to just look for the teleporter that's got the tag on it. I'm going to collect some chests on the way. That tent, of course, has long since been spent. And I ranked up, so I'll go ahead and level my warriors up. My soul weavers are already maxed. Grab some more experience along the way. Now I'm looking at how many steps it is to the golem, and I'm looking at that chest. Yeah, there's no way. If I take that chest, I won't be able to do the fight. So I'm going to go ahead and beat the golem, and then tomorrow, when my points refresh, I'll be able to hit those chests and scroll up. Now, the golem team, I'm just going to breeze through relatively quickly. It's the exact same golem fight in my prior video. This is a really solid team. Now there's a couple of ways to cheese this. Like if you have Chaos Inquisitor and you focused on knights, I hear he can solo the whole thing. But I only need to knock a little bit down on it. The rest of the team has already almost killed this thing, so it's only got about 500k health left, so this should be pretty easy since I did 1.3 million last time with this team. The only difference, I think, is I used Kitty Clarissa last time, and she is already dead, or used, I should say. So, if you want more details on the how and why of this team, check out the prior video, and we'll just zoom through this real quick. Oh, and every freaking time, make sure you turn auto off so you don't waste an attack. Now, as I was saying, a more detailed breakdown of the skills and the why for this team in the prior video, but basically, every so many times you hit the golem, he counters, Rowana heals on counters, Green Lots pushes everybody up, Conqueror Lilius gives a buff that can't be dispelled, and her S2 is a pushback, the golem can be pushed back. So it lets you spend a lot of time just spam killing this floor, especially with the pushbacks. It keeps him from ramping up enough damage, so you're able to keep his damage scaling low and push your score even higher because it takes him a while to build up enough attack scaling to kill you. So here I have only 3 provisions left. It's not even enough to get the guild chest, so this was late last night. I went ahead and went to bed and woke up this morning figuring somebody will probably get that chest, so I wasn't going to waste the steps to move there, but I wasn't going to walk anywhere else just in case nobody got the chest. Tomorrow morning we'll clear some of that loot out and head for the Banshee. Oh, I almost forgot. I can go ahead and collect the rewards from all of the hard work today. So the priest is open, but nobody's defeated him yet, of course, so the rewards are shaded out. We'll get those rewards once we drop the priest. And now there's nothing to do but wait until tomorrow morning. And it's tomorrow morning. I now have 67 provisions. Somebody did collect the guild chest for me, so no reason to backtrack to that. I'll grab this chest and I will go up and grab that scroll. And it is my lucky day. These paintings you touch will raise your class 1 level even if you're capped. So up go my warriors, another level. Man, I'm gonna max these guys out fast enough. I'll be able to use all those class enhancement points to maybe level a 3rd class. After leveling, I definitely have enough room for a relic, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And don't really want the wooden doll yet. I'm not focusing on rangers, so I'm going to grab that 4-leaf clover relic. It'll make the next 3 shrines I click on have a better chance for really, really good relics. Now it's time to move on to the Banshee fight. I have a really good Banshee team in mind that I want to try out here. But first, let's talk about the Banshee's mechanics. She CR pushes herself every time somebody on your team takes a turn. That's standard. Every time you attack her, she gains stackable attack and speed, so you want to limit the amount of times you attack her. Like, don't necessarily use dual attack units. She gives herself a barrier. The barrier gets stronger as things progress, and it's not dispellable. You've got to just pound through the barrier. If you let her attack you while the barrier is up, it does significantly more damage, and she also uses a strip with her attacks, so units that rely on buffs, not so good. So rather than going with dual attack units here, I'm going to take a bunch of healers that have CR push. My green Lots, 100% CR push. My Doris, 50% CR push, and my Emilia, 50% CR push. And for a damage dealer, I'm going to use Commander Lorena. Now, Commander Lorena is on a rage set, but green Lots S1 is an attack break, and Doris's S1 is a blind, and the Banshee can be blinded and attack broken. So I think in theory that should be enough to keep the rage set proccing, but because I'm not 100% confident I'll be able to maintain good uptime on the debuffs, instead of Jacko's Symbol, I'm going to run Symbol of Unity on my Commander Lorena for the 16% damage bonus. Now I gotta say, even though it's a single DPS team, I'm pretty pleased with how this fight turned out. So at the start, I'm going to go ahead and push up Commander Lorena, mostly to get an attack buff on her than for really any other reason. I'll use her S3 here because there's no reason not to. Now her S3 does have a pushback, but I'm pretty sure the Banshee is immune to being pushed back. At least it always said resisted or immune. Yeah, see, it said immune there, so you can't push her back, but still. Solid team. You're racing against the clock for damage because every time you hit her, she's going to get stackable speed and attack and hit harder and harder. But that's a nice thing about having 3 healers on the team. Now I use the S1 there to get a blind off because that way I don't take much damage and I don't have to worry about healing nearly as much. Lorena's about to attack, so I'm using the S1. I triggered the attack buff, and now my rage set will proc, so this should hit a lot harder than if I had not used the S1.
Let me show you the results of my research.
I probably should have S1'd there for the blind, but the attack buff is still up, so I'll get the maximum damage. Even though Lorena's ready to take a turn, I'm going to push her up for the attack buff. Now, anytime you get a chance to burn Commander Lorena, you should do it because it's an extra attack, so you get to double dip on her damage. Now, I think you see the rhythm of the fight here, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. It's just a non-stop run of CR pushing and damage dealing from Commander Lorena. Now with this S3, I was built up enough souls to soulburn Lorena, so I soulburned, and then I got the S1 off, and those 2 hits alone were enough to drop the Banshee's barrier. When the Banshee gets a barrier, its next attack is going to hit really hard, so you always want to try to burst down the barrier. As you see, my health is nowhere close to being in trouble here. We're already over 600k damage. Well, almost over. Now we're over 600k damage. Even though the Banshee gets stackable speed and attack, I'm staying ahead of it with 3 healers pretty well. And the non-stop pushing is keeping me well protected and maintaining my damage output at a pretty high level. We're coming up on our 1,000,000 point mark here. Again, soul burning the S3 on Commander Lorena into an S1 for extra damage. When you don't have anything better to do, use your S1s on Doris and Lots to maintain the attack and the break. Attack break and the blind for extra debuffs. And it looks like my buddy the Money Man has jumped into the fight here with me, so I'm not going to get to see if this team solos it or not, but I mean 1.4 million. It looks like the 2 of us are definitely going to take it down. Whoa, he's catching up to me. He must have brought a really good team too. There we go. Easy clap. So that's a great team for the Banshee to help you progress on. See if that 4-leaf clover got me a good relic. And it got me a great relic. Man, my warriors are going to be so strong. So I'll trade out my good wolf gauntlet with my heroic wolf gauntlet. My warriors go up yet another level. So the priest is right up there. I've got 30 provisions. I know there's a chest just north of that weird fish eyeball looking monster. So I'm going to pop up there, grab that chest, and then mosey on over and hit the priest. And here comes the money man, hot on my tail. Hey, you know, my guild is filled with really high-end Twitch streamers, from Car6 to the Money Man to Redos. I'll put links to their Twitch channels in the description. You should definitely check them out. So, I'm going to try something a little different for the priest fight. I had a priest team that worked real well that I used a couple videos ago, but I'm going to try something a little different this time. I'm going to take Inferno Khawazu. His S3 is 100% chance to strip while Vigor is up, so he's going to strip that counterattack buff on phase 5. Sigret is a great debuffer, so she's going to help me get past phase 4 where he does the AoE wipe. Khawazu, I know it's crazy, he's almost as good as Fire Ken in this. Khawazu's got defense breaks on his S1 and on his S3 and lays down some terrific damage. And Achates, of course, it's hard to find a better healer slash cleanser than Achates. So round 1 again is the bait round. You don't want to use your cleanse skills on round 1 because the priest's round 2 attack is the one that's loaded with defense breaks. So the S3 has got an unhealable debuff and a defense break, both of which the boss is vulnerable to. So I'm going to use them now because they should be back in time to use again on that round 5 attack. 5 attack where he does the AoE wipe. So that's great. I didn't take any defense break or didn't take any poison damage or anything there, so I'm good to go. I'll use this S3 because it does significant damage and it'll be back around in time to use on the strip. Now a little bit of a goof here. I should have just S1'd. I accidentally used her S3, so now I'm going to have to suffer the defense break and seal that's going to come at me when he does this turn 2 attack. So you always want to sandbag Achates S3 because this attack right here puts seal and defense break, and it got Sigret and Khawazu. So I've got no way to really peel that off now. So I'll just S2 heal up a bit and try to cycle it. You know, I'm just going to use the S3. It's really good damage. I've got a lot of debuffs out, which increases her defense penetration. So we'll take some free hits. And
I'll show you my power. I'm always up for a fight. This one will follow. This is the
okay, Khawazu powering up, and I'm saving the S3 because I want to be able to strip the counterattack buff. I got one more turn before he does anything incredible, so I'll just do an S1 here. I can get rid of the defense break. I'm going to burn this because having that defense break on really got Sigret and Khawazu kind of hurt there. Okay, so this is the round. I've got to stick 5 debuffs. And remember, the ones that are up there now all have 1 turn on them. And they will vanish on his turn. Okay, it looks like a lot of debuffs, but right now only the heal block and one of the burns is gonna, or one of the bleeds, that first bleed has a 2-turn debuff on it. Okay, this is really bad. All of those debuffs are gonna vanish except for 2, so I'm gonna get wiped. So I go ahead and put the S2 on Sigret just so she survives this. Everyone else is gonna die. Man, this is disappointing. This team had so much potential, and I just did not stick enough 2-turn debuffs. Surprised Sigret is tanking this as well as she is. One more hit. Might as well rip the S3 since this is going to be my last hit. 695k. So that's disappointing. I think I could easily have gotten into the 800 to 900k, maybe 1 million range if I had survived that wipe phase, but RNG was just against me. The buffs I had stacked up were only single turn, burns and bleeds, so maybe Sigret wasn't as good of an idea as I thought. Maybe I should have taken a different unit with Cradle of Life. Regardless, I do have the provisions to do one more attack, but we just got here. The rest of the guild's going to catch up, and I think that probably by tomorrow morning we'll be killing this priest and moving on to floor number 4. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and buy and roll this helmet. So hopefully you guys bring me some good luck here. I don't know what it is about this helmet. You will never convince me that it's 25% chance for all these stats. Everybody I've seen roll this thing has rolled it into health. Minimum speed roll, but that's okay. We never turn our nose up at speed. Okay, a maximum speed roll, a 5 and a 3. There's the health, but hey, it's a maximum 9 roll into health. Another health roll, that was a 7. Anything but health. I think lifesteal sets scale better off of defense than health, so I'm not a huge fan of lots of health on my lifesteal sets, but ooh, 9 attack. That's 79 gear score. We take that. This could go on my Ed or even on my Rylid, who likes some bulk. Heck, maybe even I'll make a lifesteal Aiden. I'm not going to complain about a 79 gear score helmet. So I hope you guys have good luck on your rolls as well, and I will see you tomorrow for the first day of the second week of Ancient Inheritance. Have a great one.